Hey guys, this is my 6-month update video of the mission work that I'm doing here in New Zealand. Right now, we're currently in the shed of where I live at, and we host worship sessions on the first Friday of every month here. Apparently last month there was 250 people in this room and a little bit through there worshiping God for a couple of hours, and we feed them, we have fun with them, and we worship our Father. So that's just a little bit of context for this space. But yeah, this is my half a year update video of the mission work I've been doing. I moved to Christchurch in February 15th or so, and I was getting to work for the Send, and that was organising getting 1,700 people that ended up going to the town hall event on the 14th of May, which is pretty exciting. It's a lot of work for a young 22-year-old Toby to do, and it was a lot of work. But we did that, we completed it, and it was awesome, positive response, everyone loved it, it was great, it was well organised. And yeah, it was awesome just to gather so many people in a room together. My highlight was the pastors' dinner and just gathering all of the leaders from the city in one room, having a meal, and then being encouraged by Francis Chan. I mean, how many pastors get that, get that opportunity in their career? So it was just cool to gather everybody and see all the people that I've connected with over the last couple of months of working for the Send. I just finished 2 months traveling around New Zealand, and we went on the streets evangelizing, and we were hosting smaller Send event nights at different churches. That was lots of fun. I loved it. Very full on. Yeah, so there's 3 months of tour, and I only did 2 of them, and I was feeling kind of really a bit tired and a little bit burnt out. And getting towards the end of the second month, I was thinking, oh yeah, okay, God, where do you want me to go? I don't want to make any decisions based off being too tired or burnt out or annoyed with anything. I want to make a decision based on your obedience, God. And I felt him call me back to Christchurch. So I was praying about it. I didn't want to make the decision to come back to Christchurch out of a place of maybe homesickness. Even though I'm being brought up in Waikana, I didn't want to come back to Christchurch for feeling homesick. But I just really felt a call to come back to Christchurch. So I left the tour after 2 months. They're still going around, they're still on the tour, the rest of the crew. I just jumped off. I've taken a week last week just to rest and to recover and to take time to talk with God, spend time in His Word, pray for friends and family and what I'm doing next. And yeah, I didn't really get a definite answer. God didn't audibly speak to me, say, Toby, go and do that. But I really feel just to be in Christchurch. Right now, I have no clue what that looks like. I don't know what it looks like to stay here. I don't know what it looks like to stay in missions here. I have a bunch of ideas and a bunch of passions that God's given me. And it's just seeking Him to see if He wants me to take action on those. So a couple of real brief ideas that I'm having is I'd love to see a lot more unity within the evangelists of Christchurch. There's a heap of people who go out and evangelize. It'd be great to have a bit more unity and gather all the evangelists together who have the same passion, who have the same vision, and finding others that actually are doing the same thing that they're doing. I think that'd be really encouraging for everybody included. So that's one thing I'm wanting to action, is just bring evangelists together and then go out stronger or go out with more resources. Some groups have musicians, some groups have older guys who've done it for years and they have that wisdom that the musicians don't have. So it's just maybe combine, and some groups go out and do food. So different groups have different resources. So I think bringing them together and networking so they know each other. Oh yeah, this guy, Joe Bloggs, he goes and does the barbecue, and John Appleseed does he has his microphone box and he speaks on the street. I don't know, whatever it is. That's kind of a bit of what I want to do, is bring people together, people who have resource and passion, and just go out together. It doesn't have to be a regular thing. It could just be hey, who wants to join me today? So I'd love to see a bit more unity happening in the evangelism sphere. And yeah, there's a couple of other awesome things that are happening. There's pastors all up and down the east coast of the South Island that are really excited and are hungry and want to follow up with some of the work that the Send did. So I've been in contact with a couple of pastors, and we want to organise a couple of worship nights and a couple of worship afternoons to gather musicians and tech guys and pastors or whoever, and maybe have a meal, but just worship and just talk about the heart of worship, and maybe do a bit of training, but just gather awesome people in different cities to do some worship. So we're planning one in Timaru and Oamaru, which is exciting, the towns that I got to organise doing the Send stuff. And yeah, there's some cool things happening in Christchurch with a couple of different pastors here. Everything is kind of like early days, to be honest with you. There's a couple of little opportunities that have been presented to me, but they are quite early days. So I'm still just waiting to see what God says on that. There is a couple of opportunities within a few churches to stay in ministry in Christchurch and to stay in ministry work with working with other churches and on the streets as well. So this is really exciting. It gives me a lot of creative freedom to go out, and I get to kind of be my own boss. Well, God's my boss. I get to decide what I feel God's calling me to do, which is exciting. God gets to decide what I get to do. So yeah, a lot of creative freedom around this, and I'm really hoping that God directs me to what he wants me to do. If he cut. Yeah, so this is obviously early days, but really exciting because it gives me a lot of freedom to what I put my time to. So I want to be obedient to God and what he says. If that's doing evangelism stuff, if that's gathering the evangelists, then cool. If that's working in some of the secular communities, like I have a car group called Christ-like Riders based off Galatians 2:20, and I really want to bring Jesus into a sphere that actually has no Jesus. And I can maybe put a little bit of that in my email. But yeah, so there's a couple of different ideas that I have, still really early days, but just exciting to see. Anyways, I really want to keep it short. I am in a bit of a vulnerable spot. I think the enemy is definitely trying to go after me, and especially jumping off towards a massive thing. It didn't really make sense, but I felt a lot of peace going into it, and I just want to be obedient to God. I'm only here, I only breathe to follow Christ. I'll put my feet up and have a cup of tea when I'm in heaven. All I want to do is serve God on this earth. I don't want to build my own kingdom. I only want to serve and build his kingdom. So I would love some prayer, and I'm going to need it because I don't know what the next 6 months of ministry looks like. And I don't know what tomorrow looks like, and I don't know what I'm putting my hands to the plow for. So I would love some prayer on direction. I would love just any encouragement if you've got any. But yeah, once again, thanks for having me in missions for the last 6 months, supported missions for the last 6 months. I figured it out in my head the other day. I've been doing this for a year. Last year I was on the Catalyst tour and travelled for 3 months and kind of carried on a little bit over summer, but I've been doing full-time mission work for around about a year, which is crazy that I haven't actually had a full-time job. Yeah, I've been looked after by the provision of God and you guys for supporting me to do this stuff, and it's been super fruitful, and it's been super exciting, and it's been super awesome for my life. Thanks for trusting me. This is quite a big thing to do, trusting your finances to go to some young bloke to actually do something good with them. And yeah, hopefully you may not see all the fruit. I don't even see all the fruit myself, but I hopefully from your obedience to support me has been fruitful for the kingdom. We've seen so many people touched and changed by the gospel, by the Great Commission to go. People feel free to go forth, and it's exciting to see people enabled in their giftings of what they've been given, if that's worship, if that's an evangelist, if that's whatever that looks like, Bible studies and skills. It's exciting to see people pick up their cross and run with it. And I love that. That's exciting for me. I don't want to see any more lukewarm Christianity in New Zealand. That's probably my goal for tomorrow, is how can Toby Gray help advance Christians from stepping away from lukewarm Christianity, and how do I get non-Christians to step into authentic, genuine Christianity? There's a lot of thoughts going through my head. I'll wrap this video up here. Thanks so much for supporting me. The last 6 months has been crazy. The last year has been crazy. God's been so faithful. It's been rough. It's been fun. There's been laughter. There's been tears. It's been exciting. I'm excited to carry on in this. I'm going to need some prayer and maybe some ideas of help because I don't know, man. It's hard to hear God's voice sometimes, and I just want to be obedient, and I don't want it to be hard to follow his voice, and I don't think God intends his voice to be hard to hear. So if you've got any encouragement or some scriptures or some devotions that you think would be encouraging to me, just send them my way, email them to me, and yeah, I'll drop my phone number in the email as well. But if you guys want to give me a call at any point, I'd love to chat. God bless. Thanks for the last 6 months. To another 6 months. Real quick, the prayer I've been praying to God at the moment is I feel like I'm in a fork right now, and I really want to take a step in either direction, and neither of them are bad. Full-time ministry is non-negotiable, but I want to take a step either into full-time work again, or further deep into this mission work. I don't want to feel like, oh yeah, I might return to the workforce or whatever, and I might do one day, but I think for this next season, I'd like to be a little bit more long term. A year's great, but it'd be cool to put down 5 years to see something happen, and put 5 years of work and energy into whatever it looks like, if that's really working on evangelism or gathering unity within churches, or if that's just going back to the workforce and hunkering down on a mechanics apprenticeship. That's my prayer at the moment, is I want to take a step in either direction, and neither of them are bad. I'll do ministry in both, but one of them is in the workforce and one of them is full-time in the capacity that I'm doing right now. So pray for that as well. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. It's a long video, 6 months special. I guess it can be a little bit longer. Thanks for watching to the end. We will see you later. Love you guys.